I'm Melissa, and Kristen and I are doing this class. We have been since May, June, July, and August. We've been teaching a product of the month class to some of our best customers within our organizations, and you guys are it. A lot of you are here live, but there'll be so many more that will catch the recording. So welcome to everybody. Today we get to talk about a really fun oil. Kristen and I both did little happy dances when doTERRA announced the product of the month this month because this one gives us a lot to talk about. A lot of the last few oils have been amazing smelling oils that give us a lot of benefits in the diffuser and even wearing as perfume. But this one is like next level because we just have a lot to share with you tonight, even about some research, or this morning, about some of the research with this oil. So let's jump in.
So before we get into all the good stuff about Adaptiv, we'd love to hear from you. First of all, just say you're where you're from in the chat. We'd love to be able to connect with some of you during this class. And I'd love to hear, or you could even just think about this. You don't necessarily have to share it if you don't want to. We're in this transition season in between summer, going into fall. Lots of kids are getting ready to go back to school. Teachers are getting ready to go back to school. There's lots of shifts happening. And we're going to just take this minute here to let you guys think about, as you're going through all these transitions, think about your stress levels. 0 to 10, how stressed are you? And be honest, 10 would obviously be the worst, and 0 is just wow, you're laying on a beach like Sandy right now. So if you guys don't already do this regularly, it's good to just tune in and check in. And I hope that this class is just the perfect little reminder you need to implement some good self-care in your life. I love that we get to have this time with some of our best customers, because at the end of the day, this is our time where we kind of remind each other about the incredible tools we have right there at our fingertips, and remind each other to be using them and supporting ourselves. So obviously, if you're really stressed, it's good you're here today. And if you're not really stressed, that's great also, because you'll be prepared for that next time stuff comes up. On the screen, you can see these are all the freebies that you would have gotten this year, or you maybe have gotten this year if you've been ordering above 125 PV. Melissa and I always do. And I mean, wow, these are some incredible oils. I'm just thinking, even the citrus assortment we've gotten this year so far is incredible. Lots of good oils for diffusing, bug spray, oils for supporting our metabolism and our blood sugar balance. Lots of really great freebies. And so anyways, hopefully you're enjoying these different ones. And today we're going to talk all about our Adaptiv Touch.
Yes, so this is such an amazing oil because doTERRA has taken all the guesswork out of it. We're going to talk in a few minutes about the rest of the Adaptiv line, the full oil and the capsules. But what you got this month for free is the roller ball that's already diluted with fractionated coconut oil. So this is an amazing oil to gift to someone. Maybe you already have one on your shelf and this is an extra one. I would encourage you to find someone in your life that needs the ability to adapt to a new situation or a new season of life and gift it away, because there's no guesswork. It's just ready to go. As you know, we twist off the cap and then we can start applying it. And this is an amazing oil to apply topically. So that will really be the main way that you use this oil. It's not something that we take internally, and it's not, I mean, you could roll your roller in your diffuser if you wanted to, but that's not really the design for it. So we'll be using this oil topically, and you can see on the screen, it's a blend of a lot of amazing essential oils. Wild orange is one of the key notes that you probably smell in here. Along with spearmint is a pretty strong one. Those two are really uplifting and energizing. Spearmint helps increase oxygen to the brain, really important when you're feeling overwhelmed. Lavender and copaiba, magnolia, those are some of the highest linalool content oils, where and we know research is showing the impact of those essential oils on your brain and the way that you send stress hormones to the body. And rosemary and neroli are amazing brain oils. Neroli is actually a really great essential oil for hormone balance, which is affected by high cortisol levels. And I don't know a lot about sweet gum, but I'm sure that that makes it this dreamy little smell of a blend. But those are the essential oils in there. If you're not familiar, I would say for the majority of you that have been around for a while, a lot of those oils you have on your shelf and you probably use regularly. doTERRA was pretty genius to put them all together for us and make it smell so good. I'm just always amazed at their ability to take all of those essential oils and put them together in a format that smells like this. Do y'all love the smell of Adaptiv? Hope you do.
It's so good.
All right, here's the problem. And this is what the Adaptiv is set out to address, among other things. But what we really want to focus on today is stress and overwhelm, overthinking, anxiety even. I just had a customer message me this morning. She doesn't know I have this class because she didn't get the free product of the month, but she has an 11-year-old niece who's dealing with high anxiety, and she wants to know what rollerball she should be using. And I was like, I'm ironically teaching a class literally about this conversation in 30 minutes. But it's Adaptiv. It would absolutely be my number one recommendation for her. And so here's the problem with stress. With our children, I think we take it a little bit more seriously because we have had a lot of education in recent years about how damaging the chaotic, overwhelmed lifestyle, all of this emotional health needs of our young people. But a lot of times for myself, we get older and we just kind of stuff it, or maybe in our childhood, we never really were given tools to deal with it at those ages that we're talking about. And so you get into your 30s and your 40s and your 50s and you're still just kind of stuffing your stress because you don't really know how to deal with it. And I think maybe we're aware, but I think it's really good to review the evidence that is now research shown about chronic persistent stress and how it's changing our brain. Dr. Kerry Ressler had a really interesting article that I read as we were preparing for this, and he said, chronic stress may actually rewire your brain. It accelerates brain aging. It increases the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. It causes inflammation. It can worsen age-related cognitive decline. We talked about this. I just did a recent class talking about mental wellness and how important this type of conversation is as we age. And I would say when I look at my parents who are in their 60s, this is the number one thing that they're talking about that they're trying to avoid is cognitive decline. It's like we know our bodies are going to fail, right? But we want to hold on to our brains as long as possible because above anything will affect our quality of life as we age. And so scientists are showing that long prolonged stress lessens the activity in part of our brain that actually handles high order tasks. So they're basically finding with some of this study that when our brains are under continuous stress, it exercises, for lack of a better word, a certain part of the brain that handles threats, that are fight or flight, that gets ready for the everyday fight of life, right? And the part of the brain that's tasked with more complex thought, the details, the nitty-gritties of life, really takes a back seat. And so we don't want to be exercising that part of the brain every single day, all day long, and neglecting the other part of our brain. And that's the rewiring that he's talking about. So that's the bad news, right? And that stresses us out to even think about that. So what do we actually do? And that's having tools like essential oils to rewire the brain the other way. That's why I love this blend so much, because doTERRA has done the research of the essential oils, which ones affect the brain and help it to produce less cortisol, cause less of that rewiring. And Adaptiv really takes the number one slot. Now, I told this gal that had reached out to me, there are a lot of oils that can do this. I mean, we listed them all there: lavender, copaiba, rosemary, all of those things. Wild orange could be used individually if it was more of an aroma preference. But if you like the smell of aroma, or you're willing to smell the smell of aroma of Adaptiv, I really think this is the number one, because this is the oil of adaptability. I don't know if you've ever taken the Clifton's Strength Finders evaluation assessment. Kristen and I are obsessed with it. We talk about it all the time. We're very different, but we have some similarities. And so it's interesting in a working relationship, kind of seeing all of that. But one of the Clifton strengths is adaptability. And my husband is incredibly high in adaptability. He's able to roll from one situation to another pretty easily. Our children are very, very different children. He's able to be one way with one child, one way with the other. And I struggle with that a little bit. I don't know where adaptability lies. It's going to make me curious. I'll have to go look after this class. But that's the design of this oil, is to help you roll with the punches a little bit more, adapt to changing environments and situations. And so I made a list of what I felt like off the top of my head could be some really great places or times, experiences in our life where Adaptiv could really help increase your adaptability. Work for sure, right? Sometimes we're working with all different types of coworkers and we have to kind of change. Sometimes we have different bosses, maybe multiple bosses, or maybe your work. I know like Sandy's working in an emergency department, like her day changes every single day. Adaptability has to be high on her list. School for students, there's a lot of change in school, social events. Some of us have a lot of anxiety around being with other people, even though we want to be, it doesn't come natural to us. This would be an amazing oil to use before those things. Parenting, I kind of giggled when I wrote that, but it's just so true. Traveling, there's a lot of change in traveling. Extended family events, I'm thinking like summer reunions where you're just, maybe you're a little uneasy about the situation, or maybe there's tension in some of those relationships. Walking into critical conversations or meetings, really giving your brain the tools it needs to limit that cortisol surge that might come when you enter into those situations, or maybe as you leave those situations and you want to come back into a calm environment in your home. So those are the times we're going to be pulling out those this essential oil roller.
So did you guys know that aroma, specifically from high quality essential oils and deep intentional breathing, can actually take your body from a sympathetic state? Sympathetic state is when you're like, you know, in a hurry, you're like, I gotta get to this appointment right now. And if I'm late, like something bad's gonna happen. Your body's like, ah, like gotta go. Like this is when your body starts to feel that fight or flight sort of mode. Um, and so aroma, deep intentional breathing, that helps you come from that fight or flight sort of response into parasympathetic state, more of a rest and digest state in less than 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So some key times when you're going to want to be really intentional about being in rest and digest mode is honestly right before you eat. And there's actually a lot of research on when you are actually in the parasympathetic state before you eat, your body actually produces more digestive enzymes and it breaks down your food better. And it massively affects your digestion, the way you're able to get nutrients from the food you're eating, the way your body is even detoxing and passing out the stuff that it needs to get rid of. So I don't know about you guys, but I think a lot of times it's really easy to go from like, you know, you're solving problems, you're in the thick of work, maybe you're parenting, you're doing something, and it is more stressful for your body. It's not a rest mode. And then we're going straight into eating, right? And maybe sometimes we're even doing this. We're like scrolling along on our phone. Anybody guilty? I'm guilty. I've been actually talking to my husband about this the last couple of weeks. We've been trying to be more intentional. We're just like zoning out, looking at our phone while we're sitting there eating, right? Thinking we're catching up on messages or we're relaxing, scrolling on some socials or whatever, but we're not actually paying attention to our food and like our body's not able to digest properly. So one key thing you could do with your Adaptiv is to put it somewhere that you have access to it before you eat. You apply that oil and you take a minute to do some deep breathing before you eat. And that alone is going to massively affect your digestion and your hormones and so many other things. So you can also do this like right before bed and have like key moments. My husband actually has a reminder in his phone right now to like, I think it's 2 or 3 times during the day for him to do some deep breathing exercises. And I'd encourage you guys, if you're not doing that already, that's something really, really great to do. Like put a reminder and actually pull out your oil and use it on a regular basis so you can get into that rest and digest mode.
We're going to talk about some specific ways to do that. If you're kind of like, okay, tell me exactly how to do that kind of person in just a minute as we get moving here. And it's going to revolve around the vagus nerve. So if you've not ever looked into the vagus nerve in your body, please do. It's fascinating. It's the longest of all the cranial nerves in our body. It actually is connected from our brain all the way down to every vital organ, and it sends signals to the brain regarding our pain, regarding pressure, our temperature, and it actually prompts different organs to rest and digest. And so it's an amazing nerve that we can stimulate very gently. We'll teach you how to do this and actually move our body from that sympathetic state that Kristen was talking about into the parasympathetic state in 60 seconds. I'm gonna actually show you. I did it before this class again, just because I wanted to experience it, and it was amazing. So I'm excited for that.
So good. So in order to do what Melissa's gonna, well, okay, just briefly before we go into the practicals. Of course, the adaptive roller is amazing. doTERRA also has an entire system that you can utilize. And this is something that you'd want to consider specifically if you have kids. I did not make this slide. Melissa made this slide. She said 10 to 18.
10 to
I'm like,
18, that's the most stressful season of life, right?
okay. Well,
Okay,
apparently I
maybe if
just
they're
haven't
under 10 too.
experienced it yet.
But
That's
I was saying
unfortunate.
specifically that kids 10 to 18 would
Yeah.
benefit themselves from this system.
Oh, okay. Yes, okay, that makes more sense.
Mhm.
If life feels overwhelming, the whole system could be something you'd consider. If you're always overthinking things, if your mind isn't focused, if you have tension headaches, if you're working off of any specific medications dealing with anxiety or mood related things, or if you have a work or school schedule that's really stressful. These are all different things, either circumstantially or even symptoms you might be noticing if your body needs additional support in just calming and getting into a more stress-free state. And
Like, didn't your
what
mom ever tell you to go take a chill pill ever when you were a kid? I don't know why that was such a common like slang saying when we were kids, but
Yeah.
that's literally that's literally what Adaptiv is an actual non-toxic, non-habit forming, not dangerous, no side effect type of chill pill that we can give ourselves or even our children. And I said 10, but I have friends that are giving their 6, 7, and 8-year-olds these capsules too, with great benefits.
So essentially we have the essential oil by itself, we have the roller bottle version, and then we also have these capsules that doTERRA's specifically formulated for stress. So when you're needing that additional support, we definitely encourage you to utilize literally the whole system. And specifically what we wanted to share a little bit about is these capsules from doTERRA. The capsules, one of the primary ingredients in them is an ingredient called GABA, or gamma anabutyric acid. And GABA is something, or well, it's a specific neurotransmitter, and basically a chemical messenger in your brain. And what it does is it slows down your brain by blocking specific signals in your central nervous system, your brain and your spinal cord. And it's known for producing a calming effect. So it is a natural ingredient. It's not a medication that's blocking any sort of signals, and it's, like I said, natural, and creates that calming effect. So it's basically been found to be it plays a major role in controlling all your nerve cell hyperactivity associated with anxiety, stress, and fear. So basically people that are saying like, which I've been hearing this so much recently, people are saying, I think I'm a little ADHD, or I think I'm realizing I'm a little ADHD. And I think the reality is these people don't realize that they've been living in a chronic state of stress, and their body is starting to exhibit symptoms that you can define them as ADHD, but really it's just the stress and its effect on the body. And that's why GABA, what the research has shown us, can be so beneficial. And it makes me laugh. I actually posted in the LDC, I think about a month ago, with a couple posts from some different health influencers on social media that are talking about things like GABA and L-theanine, which is in doTERRA's Serenity capsules. And they're like basically talking about taking all these individual herbs and then also taking GABA because of how beneficial it is for stress and anxiety or ADHD. And it makes me smile because I'm like, doTERRA has literally already given us the perfect capsule because it has the GABA in it, but then it also incorporates these other herbal extracts and essential oils to help give your body the extra support it needs.
And
And it's
I
proven
just
to
want
work.
to chime in and say, I think it's really dangerous to label ourselves that way when we're talking about situations, because it may be factual that we are currently overthinking a situation, or that we feel overwhelmed, or that we are anxious. But I feel uncomfortable when people say, oh, I have ADHD, or, oh, my ADD is flaring, because I worry that that becomes an excuse then for the behavior. And long term, we know that not doing anything to support our brain's health will cause problems. And so I don't want to belittle that diagnosis, because it's true and real for a lot of people. But what if we were using that as a way to move us towards action of supporting our brain and encouraging the introduction of new neurotransmitters and things like that, rather than just being like, meh, that's just how I am, because our brains were wired for productivity and for calm and normalcy. It's how God designed us. It's actually not, it's not normal. And so anyway, I hope I'm not offending anyone there, but I just wanted to say, I think it's a really important conversation and a good check with ourselves, how we're speaking to ourselves. What is our brain hearing about us, and is just encouraged to follow suit. Did we lose you, Chris?
Our day to day. Um,
I just
is my
lost you.
connection
Were
still?
were you chatting this whole time?
Can you hear me now?
Now I
Sorry.
can, yeah.
Okay. I was just saying that the next part of the class, we're going to talk about some practicals of the ways that you can use that adaptive roller that you got this month for free. And the first one is to think about where you actually have your adaptive. And this worked out so well because my purse happened to be sitting right next to me.
I
And
love
right
it.
in my purse, here's my wallet. And my wallet happens to have some essential oils in it. Love this wallet. I've had it for like 4 years. Um, oh my goodness.
Lift it up
Okay,
higher.
well,
We can't see
apparently
it.
I was wrong. What?
You have to lift it up a little bit higher. We can't see it.
Yeah, sorry. So almost always I have Adaptiv in here, but apparently somehow it got switched for Evolve. But no,
Evolve is amazing.
it is amazing.
Well,
I'm
nobody
guessing.
believes you that you use that oil, obviously,
Yeah,
Kristen.
I swear I had Adaptiv in there, but I do actually use this. Apparently, I'm using Evolve right now, and Evolve is also in my purse, so I just apparently found an extra Evolve and put it in here instead.
The
Anyway,
idea
normally I
is that
keep
you have
Adaptiv in it.
essential oils with
Yes,
you where you travel, and that's clearly what you're
yes.
doing.
Yes. So digestion is in here, past tense is in here, and then whisper is in here. So anyways, the point, and this is just the start of the essential oils that are normally in my bag or purse. I'm sure many of you are like me. Love to hear where you keep your adaptive roller if you already keep it in a specific spot. But the important thing for you guys to think about is think about where you have your adaptive roller so you have it available to use it, especially if you're in a stressful season of life. And if you need to get a little bit more strategic, maybe it's a good time to like add a gift to your wish list from one of these websites, or maybe you buy yourself a little treat. doTERRA has the marketplace.doterra.com. There's also this website, Aroma Tools, Oil Life, and then Etsy has a ton of different little bag ideas that you can put essential oils in, store them in there so you have them. And I love this because like obviously my wallet goes in whatever purse or bag I'm carrying. And there's other options you can use as well, just to make sure you're always keeping your essential oils on hand and then you have them when you are feeling stressed, or when you're in a line waiting for something, you're in the car driving somewhere, you feel stressed, you can easily have access to them and pull them out.
So here is what I'd kind of hinted towards. I want to teach you how to give yourself a vagus nerve massage, or really just, I mean, ultimately we're just stimulating the vagus nerve and the into parasympathetic state, into that rest and digest. So if you have the time, if you can make the time before you eat, this would be an amazing thing to do as you sit down to the table, or as you crawl into your bed at night, or whenever you feel like Maybe it's just in your car while you're waiting for your kids after school, or in your car right after you leave work and you want to transition well from your work to your home life. That would also be another good way. Or maybe it's right before your husband comes home because you want to like welcome him with love and not the list of things that went wrong today or whatever. This helps you move from that stress response to the relaxation. And it's amazing with Adaptiv. So if you have this, will you follow along with me for just a second? You can take a screenshot of this step by step, but I'm just going to show you real briefly. So you're applying Adaptiv oil to your hands, just like it said. The rollerball makes this so easy. And you're inhaling deeply. You can do this with any essential oil. This one just happens to be a favorite. Cupping your hands to your nose, taking a deep whiff. And then finding your vagus nerve. So starting at your clavicle here and working up the side towards your ear, you'll find it right here on both sides. So we can just reapply if you feel like you don't have enough slippage on the skin to both sides. And then we're going to just gently massage from the clavicle all the way up to the ear. Now, this is not a deep pressure massage. We're not trying to go for like moving anything around in there. In fact, you really don't want to do that with the vagus nerve. It needs to be very, very gentle, very light touch, like you're massaging a tomato, let's say. I like that illustration. That's what we use in chiropractic. That is the pressure that most chiropractors use when they're adjusting a newborn baby, is like handling a tomato. So that's what I want you to do when you're using massage on your vagus nerve. Then you can switch to the other side. And then moving to your ears. Now, my husband is ear obsessed. He loves ear massages more than anything. And now I'm understanding a little bit more because of the way that our body is wired, specifically with our vagus nerve. Starting at the top of your ear, right back here, you can kind of point right back to the back of your ear, right underneath that cartilage. There's a little divot, likely. And you can do one at a time. But in a circular motion, you see my finger moving like this, really gently. But I'm massaging back towards the back of my head in a circular motion, just right in that little crevice. Actually feels really good. I'm not a touch person, but as I was doing this earlier today, I was like, okay, I can see why something super simple like this could really help me move towards some less stress feeling. So the base of your ear, you'd go back down into this crevice right here. And you would do the same thing, circular motions right down in that little divot at the bottom. And then it talks about the cartilage. Now that's, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. That's all of this. And then up here, I like to start and come all the way down along the cartilage. So start kind of towards your inner ear and make like a little E. That is really, really actually kind of enjoyable. Kristen's like, gotta be dying because this is not normally my conversation. And then you can rub your feet. So I'm not going to show you that, but I am tugging on your toes. Use your thumb to massage the soles. If you need a little bit of more detail on this because you're a detail person, then find the aroma touch technique and look at what they do, the systematic steps of massaging on the bottoms of the feet. So just look up doTERRA aroma touch technique and you'll see that the steps and the way that they move from the tops of their toes down to their ankles is a specific design to stimulate the parasympathetic nerve system into gear. So that you can just sit cross-legged and do that both sides. And then here's the last piece that I was a little skeptical towards, but I did this earlier and it worked. So place your hands on your chest with your fingers intertwined. I like to deep breathe and then move your interlock hands behind your head to create more pressure, keeping your head straight and look to the right. And when I was doing this earlier today, I found my body like almost begging for deeper breaths. Before I knew it, I was like really like breathing like super deeply. And I eventually yawned. And I was like, how is that possible? And what I had read online is holding that position until you feel a yawn coming on. Yawning is a response to vagus nerve stimulation. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try that on the other side. And I did, and I was finding myself deeper breathing, and then all of a sudden I yawned on that side. I was like, whoa, 2 yawns. Really solidified for me that this could be a really simple few-minute practice that could change the way I process stress. Anyway, what do you think, Chris? Can you see yourself doing that?
So powerful. Yeah, I mean, I need to perfect the ear part, but I can see where this would be like really great to do even on a regular basis to minimize stress.
I have a video to that specific circular motion in the ear that we could link out
Oh,
with the
cool.
class. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That'd be great.
Okay, I'm just going to go through this briefly. Here's a few more ways to use this oil, applying to your pulse points to ease jet lag, unscented lotion. You can even do that, even though it's diluted, still apply with more lotion to spread over the body. You certainly can. I think it smells amazing as perfume. I've been using this oil. Hold on. Did I lose you? Are you still there? Or am I just
Yeah, you're good.
okay? I lost you, but I can't see the slides anymore. So as long as it's
No.
just me. Okay.
Yeah, it's just you.
Um, I don't know what's happening. I got a call from the state of South Dakota. Should I be concerned? My anxiety. I'm gonna need my am I gonna need my Adaptiv oil by the time this class is done? I have no idea. Okay. It's because I can't see the screen anymore. Using as a daily perfume. I've been using Adaptiv with patchouli every single day for perfume for the last month, and I really, really love it. As I shared in the chat, my stress is pretty high right now with kids going back to school and a lot of things changing. Bottoms of the feet for relaxation and your fingertips, even through your hair is a great way to have that diffusing all day. Cupped hands, like we were just doing, back of the neck, and shoulders for a relaxing massage. If you don't love the smell of Adaptiv, I do know some people that this isn't their first choice. Add more citrus, like wild orange, tangerine, or add more lavender, add more peppermint, add more spearmint, like just add, like pop that top off and add more of an aroma that you do love. It all blends amazing with that oil.
So our next suggestion would be to consider scheduling a time regularly. And we kind of talked about this last month as well, but planning a time to commit to gratitude or like a specific habit that you can use your oil with. We've talked a bit about how when you use your Adaptiv, you can habit stack and also do some deep breathing. Deep breathing specifically, I started talking about this earlier, is one of the best things you can do to help with digestion before a meal. And breathing exercises also stimulate the vagus nerve and the line of communication between your gut and your brain, that help regulate your muscle contraction and the secretion of gastric acid and digestive enzyme. Again, like all this stuff is from dietitians, nurses, all that kind of thing. And then specifically, you can think about like, are there any bad habits I have right now that I could try to swap out with a good habit like deep breathing and using my Adaptiv. And something I've been working on is doing some reading at night before I go to bed instead of spending time scrolling. So using my Adaptiv and reading, relaxing as I get ready for bed instead of scrolling on my phone. You can also do the same thing in the morning and spend some time like specifically writing down gratitudes from the day before. It's proven to do all sorts of incredible things for your brain and literally change the state of your mood. Even if you try for a week, notice, like, see what happens with the state of your mood when you do something like that instead of scrolling or something else.
I know Kristen has to get going, so we're going to do this real quick. I've already put all of your names into my random wheel picker, name wheel picker. And Kristen was going to give away our favorite fall transition product that we use pretty much daily as life is changing between seasons and just stress, because our immune system is impacted severely to stress. We didn't talk about that today, but I know you know that. And so that is the Ungar Plus soft gels. You can actually still get them 20% off right now on doTERRA's back to school sale. That ends today. So if you need to get stocked up on your own, but that is the number one product I don't live without during the winter and the fall. So Jackie, Christy, Mariah, Michelle, Sabrina, Sandy, Wanda, do I have you all in here? I'm going to spin and we're going to see who Chris will be sending those fancy little capsules to. Who'd it pick? Sandy, you are a lucky woman. I think that girl has taken home a few of our prizes. Well, it's worth you showing up here then, I guess. So awesome. We'll get that headed out your way. And then make sure that you mark this time down. This is a little bit different. We're going to do a later evening class for September. And September 18th will be September's product of the month class at 8 p.m. Central. Kristen and I are actually going to be together in Salt Lake City, Utah. So that will be a fun class for you guys to pop in and join in on. Anything else, Chris?
Yeah,
Remind
just a
everyone
reminder that
about sharing. Yeah.
even with the back to school sale going on, if you have friends that have been interested in doTERRA before, they can get like the On Guard soft gels right now, 20% off. And you, even as a doTERRA customer, you can share your refer a friend link and you can help them to purchase today any of those back to school products. They're going to be able to not only get the wholesale discount, but then they're also going to get the 20% off as well. And then you'll earn doTERRA dollars that you'll be able to use in the future months to help pay for your order. So it's a great time to share when there's fun specials like this going on, if you have friends or family that might be interested in getting some of those things.
So
And
those
then
doTERRA dollars drop within like 5 to 7 days, maybe even sooner. So you'll easily be able to use those on September's order. Like it's so fast.
So good. And it's a great time because there's likely going to be, new products coming out, and the new products, you can't use your loyalty points on new products, but you
Right.
can use doTERRA dollars that you earn from referring friends to help pay for new products and fun things like that. So if there's friends that you've been sharing with, it's a great time to send them a link and let them know about the sale so they can get the discount as well as yourself. And then just a reminder, like
Chris, you
Melissa said,
can, I'm
September
happy to
18th.
hang out for a
Okay.
couple days if there is anyone. Just make me the host and you can jet.
Yes.
It was so fun to see all of you. I mean, technically I didn't get to see really any of you, but Jackie I get to see, and Sandy. Anybody have any questions or anything you want to say or chat about from our conversation today? Sandy, I'm so glad you love that little ear massage. I was pretty impressed with how simple it could be to care for yourself. I mean, you can do this while you're like waiting in line at the grocery store to check out. I mean, it's just something that doesn't look strange and very calming. I love it.
I have a question about the toxins workshop that's coming up.
Detox.
Yeah, the detox.
Yeah,
I'm
I
thinking
wish I
about the
would have
max live and
thought
stuff.
to share that with everybody, but that information is on the Facebook page. But
Okay,
what would
and
you like to
we
know?
use the same login. I mean, that they did before. Like, I mean, because I'm to
It's a
invite new
different
people.
class, so it'll have a
Okay.
different link, but it's open to anybody. You don't have to be a
Okay.
customer with doTERRA to
Okay.
join that class. Anybody can watch that link. Kristen will probably post in that thread there on the
Okay.
Facebook page. Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
feel free to send her a text and she can probably text it directly to you too.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, we're excited for that one.
Yes. Yes. I had somebody to join after the last one.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
It's a really important conversation that a lot of people are talking about, but there's so much information out there and so many people trying to sell their system that people get overwhelmed. So this will be very holistic based, like how do we support the body naturally without all the things, but also then what does doTERRA have at our fingertips to help influence detox and drainage. So it'll be great. I'm excited. Thanks for
Awesome
asking that.
sauce.
I meant to
Oh,
have that in
you're
the class, but we didn't. So
Oh,
anyone
that's
who
okay.
listens to this recording will get a chance to hear about that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? Sandy's blowing her Adaptiv towards the folks that need it in the emergency department. I love it. Magnolia, Kristen had mentioned even the Magnolia roller. We have Magnolia in Adaptiv, but so many people find stress and overwhelm relief from Magnolia. So if you have Magnolia and you want to add extra to your Adaptiv, you can. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next month or before on the detox class on Monday. Bye.